Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in a little bit more in depth on decoding the devaluation stage in a relationship with a narcissist or a psychopath. Now, we've gone into some depth in terms of the personality disorder of a narcissist as well as a psychopath here on this channel, and to kind of give a cursory or just a glossing over of the relations to this individual. Realize that they have an insatiable need to be in control of others, in control of events, in control of situations, in control of perceptions. And a lot of this also goes into what I would call persona management, or how they appear or how they come off in life. So rather than other people being permitted to arrive at their own experience and assessment of them, they very much are caught up into personality or persona maintenance. They do craft a persona, particularly the psychopath. It is very oftentimes contrary to their the reality of who they are underneath. And when this begins to crack, when this begins to give way, when this becomes to basically where you expose the psychopath or the narcissist for being other than rosy than what you had thought they were going to be in your life, and you've seen that there's someone actually quite vile, quite destructive, and quite insultory, derogatory, and really combative, and emotionally abusive, neglecting, you basically get into a devaluation cycle with this type of individual. And because of their insatiable need to have a superior sense of self, basically a need to be superior, better than, even if they're not, even if there's no merit to that, they tend to have a real need to present that in any situation. They need to be controlling. They need to be the one who is superior, who has the attention. They need to be louder than. They need to be more derogatory than. They need to have the one-way opinion about things. And oftentimes they will need to devalue others in order to maintain that sense of superiority. And a lot of people, unbeknownst to them, if they if they're hitherto unaware of this type of individual, they fall for this mask. They fall for basically their insultory and derogatory comments, behaviors, treatments, splitting, talking about them behind their back. They tend to take it at face value. And they tend to say, you know what, you're right, I am less than. My viewpoint is stupid. My viewpoint is inferior. I do not have any value. In fact, let me just furthermore work to be a support to you. And let me just, give my life over to you. And furthermore, just basically make myself, your humble servant. And furthermore, as being targeted, I will furthermore lay down my needs and sacrifice those to the betterment of your life. So it becomes very much like, your life becomes all about bettering their life and not about bettering your life. So this is really part of feeding into that narcissist cycle in relationships with those individuals who have a insatiable need to feel better than. And, this is not a goal for everybody, but it is a goal for a narcissist or a psychopathic individual. So they tend to target those individuals who, have a weakness or a vulnerability, who are easy targets to them, who will easily be there to lay down their needs for them, or give complete focus and attention to them, or otherwise they will also target those people who possess the qualities, the personality that they covet. So in other words, they will also severely target, I would say, those individuals who present with the qualities which they find threatening or they are pathologically envious of. And pathological envy and greed come up very profoundly in a narcissist or a psychopathic individual. They can be greedy, and they tend to want to have immediate gratification of whatever it is that they want. Attention, to listen to their opinions, to devalue your side of the story, to invalidate your needs, to scoff at your needs, to mimic your needs, to make fun of you for needing just to be human, In fact, when you really look at the relationship, you'll oftentimes see, especially with a psychopathic individual, there's an inhumanness about them. And this inhumanness is a composite basically of having a lack of conscience and a lack of empathy. And it's not just like they're missing a little bit. It's not that they're, short on empathy. It's just that they don't have the neural wiring to have a conscience or to have empathy. And even though on an outward appearance they seem to be an individual, they seem to be charming, they seem to be intelligent, they can be productive, they can also be extremely a sham, a con, a facade. The individual who you see on the outside is not who you see on the inside, or who is not there lurking in the inside. And for those people who get to become familiar with them, or who get to become close to them, will eventually see this mask begin to crack and fall away, or they'll be on the end of the devaluing behavior, the discard behavior, the humiliation. And oftentimes the humiliation is not done in a jest or of good fun. It's meant in a serious light with that individual. In other words, they'll be more than readily apt to point out any flaws. All things can be going right, but yet they're going to focus and they're going to hone in on some little thing, some little blemish, some little imperfection, and basically, work that down to the bone, and basically, let you know in no uncertain terms that, you are too slow, you're too fast, you're too loud, you're too quiet, you're too nice, you're too mean, you're too spoiled, you don't have enough, you're a disappointment, you're a great joy, you're a great pride, you're too conservative, you're too out there, you're too wild, you're too calm. I mean, you're too much of everything. You are a pathological threat to them. You have a sense of presence about you. You have an awareness which they do not like. And that is the awareness of having empathy. That is the awareness of having human needs and the ability to actually really connect with people. And they don't have this ability, so they have to basically punch you out. There's some airplanes going on. They basically have to knock you out emotionally. So once you're down and once you are basically crippled from their abuse, they have conquered you and they have won. So you're no longer a threat with your empathy and your human needs, because you're basically, inch away from death. So, if they can get you there, they feel like, you deserve there, and the whole issue with, that's so sad with a narcissist or a psychopath, is that they very much delight in conquering other people in this manner and in this fashion. It's really an interspecies predator sort of mindset where there's a malignancy of their self to the detriment of the group, and so they don't care whose lives they ruin. They don't care what rules they have to break. They don't care what social norms they have to bend. They don't care who they have to insult to get where they want. In other words, to take you over or feel like they're better than. Communicate to you that they are right. They have to be right. Anything you have to say basically is going to pale in comparison. And so you basically better just shut up and put up if you want to be with these individuals. And it's the shut up and put up principle that is responsible for keeping people basically separate from their voice, their empowerment, and eventually their life purpose and their destiny. So if you've put up with this long enough, I do understand, and it's the whole goal of the channel here is to help you identify, articulate, realize this, bring this into awareness, and then take action on your awareness and learn the tools to become more embodied in your voice, your opinion, and knowing that it's okay to fulfill your life purpose, your vision, your dreams, to have a life of your own that isn't just about feeling at their mercy, at their target, at their victim. Because they're going to really work you in that role to the point where essentially you're ground down within an inch of your life, and then basically you're begging for them to come back so it can become revalidated in their eyes, and they can take control over you once again, hypersexualize you once again, to the point where, you know, the good old days are now basically, you know, not the good old days. They were basically an opportunity for someone to use you, abuse you, and manipulate you to their own ends, which is basically going to leave you with empty hands. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.